Hey everybody, it's the Right Lane Cowboy. I haven't been on here in a while. Been up here in the North Dakotas and North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, just working in this cold weather for the last couple of weeks. I was at the house before that. This thing I want to talk about is actually for the company drivers. So company drivers, listen up. I don't understand where it comes from, or I don't understand why a company driver thinks when he pounds his fist and starts screaming at a dispatcher that he's going to get his way. It's going to help him to get his way. It's not going to help him get his way. And if anything, it's going to help him to get sat down for a day or two in a truck stop. I don't get that, man. People don't understand the dynamics. You got to understand the dynamics of the whole shipping industry, man. It's pay attention, do some research. Listen to your bosses. If your CEO puts out a video, listen to that and get some insight on what's going on out here, and try to figure out why it is you're getting crappy loads this time of year. This happens every year. Every year it happens. I've been driving trucks 16, almost 17 years now, and I've been out OTR for since 13, I think, 12 or 13. I went over the road, and I started learning about this. And at first, I was like these guys. I'd get mad, and I wouldn't start cussing at them like I hear and see some of these people doing, but I'd get upset and angry. I'm like, why am I on the East Coast all the time? Why are you doing this to me? And it took a little bit of learning and research and all that to figure it out. But I see some guys that have been driving for years, 8 or 10 years, and they get downright petulant, man. They start pounding their fist on the steering wheel and cussing and screaming, and you're like, good God, dude, why don't you back it down and figure out what's going on? What dynamics are you coming up against that's causing you to get these crappy loads? And why can't you have a discussion with your dispatcher to figure out what you can do, or why you're getting those loads, or whatever? But they do. They scream, they cuss, they get mad at their dispatcher, and I don't know, newsflash, what would you call it, a spoiler alert? Dispatchers are only able to dispatch you on loads that are available to them from their load planners and CSRs. And CSR, for those that don't know, is a customer service representative that actually talks to the shipper and says, it sets up the load, all the logistics with the load. Then they send that bundle of information over to a load planner. Then the load planner, with the company I'm with, they got load planners for different regions. And then they send it, say, like, I'm going to go up to Ohio, and then they're going to send the load, the bundle of information, to the load planner that's in charge of Ohio. Then they figure out the logistics of it all. Then they take that information that's ironed out and give it to the dispatcher or the asset manager. Asset manager then figures out which one of his drivers on his board is in that area that's best suited for that load to be able to run that load, pick up on time, deliver on time, has enough hours on his clock, has enough gas in or fuel in his truck. And then, of course, they dispatch it. There's a whole lot of logistics that goes on before that load ever reaches the driver. And these drivers start flipping out and start, well, why the hell can't I have this? And why the hell can't I have that? You can't do that. You can't do that. Go up and spend a couple of minutes with your dispatcher. Sit next to his desk if they allow it. I've done that a couple times now. Sit next to my dispatcher and listen to him do his job. Watch him do his job. See, I'm looking at the computer screens that he's looking at, listening to to his end of the phone calls I can hear. And it's like, wait a minute, these drivers are calling up with stupid things. Man, I got a bug on my windshield. I mean, it's not that bad, but it seems like it's that bad. They call up for dumb things. I actually heard a driver call up and say, I got a flat tire and I need to know what to do. Wow. My God. My kids get a flat tire on their truck, they know what to do. My wife gets a flat tire on her car. She knows what to do. Instantly knows exactly what number to call, what, who to get moving, and what to kick into gear to get that tire changed to get her off of that road. These are paid professional drivers driving 18-wheelers, and they call up, or some of them call up and go, I got a flat tire, what do I do? I know what you do. You park the truck and you go work at Kmart. You'd be a hell of a lot better off. Okay? Unreal. But they do. They clog up the phone lines with stupid questions like that, and the dispatcher, I call him my dispatcher, but the dispatcher, the asset manager, has to deal with all the phone calls and the 100 or more drivers he has on the computer to make sure he's an asset manager. We're assets to the company. He manages the assets, and he's got to make sure that all of his drivers are, traveling on time, making sure that they're in the place where they're supposed to be, give or take 100 miles or so, And there's some of us out here that they don't need to even look at because they know once they dispatch the load, we pick it up, we get it delivered. Kind of like what I said on my short. The right lane cowboys philosophy to driving and having a good time out here is don't piss off your cook, your dispatcher, or the mechanic. And to do that, how do you do that? Real easy. Lock the left door, hammer on the floor, and go until you can't go no more. It's not that hard, man. And just do it and do it safely. So anyway, these guys are kicking and screaming. And I was actually telling one of my buddies, who, by the way, thanks, Leno, for giving me the shirts. He gave me a whole bunch of shirts, man. These are nice shirts. He was downsizing his wardrobe. He went kind of nuts and went in and started buying a bunch of stuff. Anyway, he gave me a bunch of shirts, and now I got some nice shirts to wear on here. So thanks, man. Appreciate it. Anyway, I was telling him, I think was it him or, hold on a second, my brain just farted for some reason. It just went crinkle. Oh my goodness sakes. Oh yeah, I was telling him, if you get a, I almost said it, no S words, no cussing. Okay, if you get a crappy load that puts you 200 miles out that delivers in 3 days, that is a really unproductive load. You could do 680, 700 miles in a day. So a 200 mile load that delivers in 2 or 3 days, pick it up, take it, figure out where you can T-call it. If you cannot T-call it, don't take it, it's not productive. But most likely that's a load that you could T-call somewhere that's gonna put you in a better position to get a better load, and with more miles on it sooner. So yeah, figure that out. Ask the questions first. Don't just start pounding on the daggum, like a petulant little child, kicking and screaming, this isn't what I want. I don't want this. I need something else. No, have a discussion. Have a discussion with your dispatcher. Maybe throw some ideas at him. He ain't no smarter than you are. You're no smarter than he is. It's just, we're all in the same logistical industry that takes discussion and brainstorming to figure out how you can get the best miles. I got a dispatcher who is kind of getting kicked into noise right now because he has drivers yelling at him for no stupid reason, man. It just irritates the hell out of him. It irritates me because it puts him in a bad mood. And of course, I try to, I give him a call and jump on the phone, and the first thing I always ask is, hey, you got time? Here's your favorite driver. You have time to talk or something like that? And I can tell if he's busy or not. I'm like, all right, thanks, bye, and get off the phone. Get off the phone as fast as possible. Man, somebody dropped a couple of big old car batteries out there. That ain't good. Gee whiz. And right now he's getting kind of kicked around, and it does no good for anybody. It does no good for the entire all the drivers on his board, because now he's in a bad mood and kind of down in the dumps, and he's trying to do his job as best he can to keep his chin up. We've all gone to work pissed off and not been able to concentrate on work because we're always pissed off. We got something else eating at the back of our brain, right? Well, that's what happens when you start being this petulant little kid and pounding your fist and screaming and cussing and acting like a child. So knock it off, drivers. Company drivers, owner operators. I'm obviously not talking to you. You guys have a whole different monster to deal with out there, and I got a special place in my heart for owner operators, man. I couldn't do it. I tried it for 30 days, and I said, this is not for me. Forget about this. I want to be able to drive and not worry about, making enough money to cover taxes, tires, maintenance, fuel, all that crap. Good God, that was ridiculous, man. I don't know how owner operators do it, but God bless you for doing it. You guys are the king of the road as far as I'm concerned. So I'll try to stay in that right lane, stay the hell out of your way. I can always hear you coming up behind me. So, but I digress. If anybody knows why this happens, if anybody out there understands why people flip their lid, maybe it's just because of inexperience. But like I said earlier, I've seen people that have been out here for 25, 30 years doing that and flipping out and not understanding logistics. After 20 years, if you don't understand logistics in this industry, I don't know if there's any hope for you. But anyway, if people understand why that happens, throw me a message down there. I'd love to chit chat about this. So anyway, I'm going to get down the road to Texas to nicer, greener pastures for the time being until the sun comes out. So hope everybody's having a good time and having a blessed day. We'll talk at you later. Right Lane Cowboy out.